Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you my top 5 car mods for Farming Simulator 22 on console so far. First up we have the TLX 2020 series, and this mod has two different pickup trucks which both have lots of attachments for them, making them a very handy vehicle to have on your farm. The first pickup is the TLX 2020 single cab, which costs £28,000. And this weighs 4 tonnes, has manual transmission and a 120 litre diesel tank. This also has two engines to choose from. There's a 280 horsepower or a 380 horsepower option. And although it says the top speed for this is 74 miles per hour, it's actually 86 miles per hour with the 280 horsepower engine and 121 miles per hour with the 380 horsepower engine. So I'm not sure why it says 74 miles per hour is the top speed. For the second pickup we have the TLX 2020 single cab 6.7 litre, which costs £36,000. And this also weighs 4 tonnes, has manual transmission and a 120 litre diesel tank. But the reason this is a bit more expensive than the other pickup is because it has more powerful engines to choose from. There's a 450 horsepower option, or a 510 horsepower option. And again, the top speed isn't 74 miles per hour, it's actually 86 miles per hour with the 450 horsepower engine, and 127 miles per hour with the 510 horsepower engine. So if you're going to use these pickups, just remember that the top speed isn't accurate. Moving on to the configurations for these pickups, there is tons of options to choose from. And they are all the same for both pickups, so I'll only go through the options on one of them. So first we have presets, and there's standard or preset 1. Then for wheel brands, we have Continental, and the wheel setups for these are standard, standard 2, standard 3, duals, and duals 2. The next wheel brand is basics, with the wheel setups of standard, Nokian, duals, and Nokian duals. Then we have Sport wheel brand, and the wheel setups are Street, Nokian, Performance, and Nokian duals. Next is the High Perf wheel brand, and for the wheel setups there is Performance, Performance Wide, Performance Duals, Performance Low Profile, Performance Duals Low Profile, and Performance Wide Low Profile. Then there's the Off-Road wheel brand, and the wheel setups for these are Standard, Performance, Duals, and Performance Duals. For the next wheel brand we have Muddin, with the wheel setups being Standard, Performance, Duals, Performance Duals, Standard 2, Performance 2, Duals 2, Performance Duals 2, Standard 3, Performance 3, Duals 3, and Performance Duals 3. Then the last wheel brand is Snow, and the wheel setups for these are Standard, Performance, Duals, and Performance Duals. So there's plenty of different wheel brands and setups to pick from. Moving on to the other options, we have front grille in Standard, Main Colour, Design Colour, and Chrome. Then we have vinyls, and there's Standard, Vinyl 1, Vinyl 2, Vinyl 3, Vinyl 4, Kubota, John Deere, Case IH, and JCB. Next is extras with the options of Standard, Sidestep Steel, Sidesteps Black, Bull Bar Steel, Bull Bar Black, Steel Extras, and Black Extras. For lighting we have Standard, LED Bar, Strobe Bar, Bull Bar 1, Bull Bar 2, Bull Bar 3, 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 1 and 5, 2 and 3, 2 and 4, 2 and 5, all in 1, all in 2, and all in 3. Moving on to kits, we have Standard, Front Bumper Design, Front Bumper Black, Front Bumper Steel, Off-Road, Off-Road Main, Off-Road Steel, Fenders 1, Fenders 2, Fenders 3, Fenders 4, Off-Road 1, Off-Road 2, and Off-Road 3. Then for cab lights, there's Standard, Rounded, or Squared. For window tint, we've got Standard, Medium, and Dark. Then we have mirrors with the options of standard or tow mirrors. Next is attachers with standard or plough mount. And for the engine setups, both pickups have two options which I mentioned earlier. Then lastly is the colour options. So there's main colour, then we've got design colour, and lastly is rim colour. So that's all the configuration options for these pickups, and as you've seen they are very customizable, so you can make these look different even if you have a couple of them. And I'll show you the attachments for them now, because they're what make this such a good vehicle to have on your farm. I won't go through the configurations for every attachment though, because that will take a very long time, so I'll just show you the configuration options for the ones that I need to. So first is the TLX 2020 Trail Boss, which is the standard pickup truck bed and costs $2,500. Then we have the TLX 2020 Flatbed, which costs $3,500, and this is just your classic flatbed. Next is the TLX 2020 Tip IT, which costs $3,500, and this will hold all of the things that a normal trailer can, but it can also hold grapes, so you won't need a different trailer to transport them. For the capacity of this trailer, we have three different options to choose from. First is basic, with a capacity of 6,000 litres. Then there's extension, that increases the capacity to 8,000 litres. And lastly is unreal, which takes the capacity to 82,000 litres. So if you go for this option, it will make carting things around very easy, because you can fit a huge amount in here, and the pickup is much faster than any tractor or lorry. Moving on, we've got the TLX 2020 Tip IT Open Bed, which costs $3,500, and this is just an open version of the trailer. Next is the TLX 2020 Lick IT, which costs $3,500, and the configurations for this allow you to use it as either a multi-product tank to transport things like fuel, milk, digestate and more, or a slurry sprayer. And the capacity for both options is either 5,000 litres or 25,000 litres. Moving on, we have the TLX 2020 ABI Tanker, which costs $3,850, and this can hold the same things as the tanker we just looked at, but it doesn't have the slurry sprayer option. The capacity for this is also 5,000 litres as standard, but if you change the configuration option to Unreal, it increases to 50,000 litres. Next up, we have the TLX 2020 Log IT, which costs $3,500 and is your standard log trailer. Then we have the TLX 2020 Yard IT, which costs $3,500. And this is a flatbed vehicle trailer, so the ramp on the back of this folds down, then you can drive onto it. Moving on, we have the TLX 2020 Box IT, which costs $4,250. And with this you can auto-load pallets from any of your production chains. So if you do a lot of production chain work and don't like loading up pallets, this is a very useful attachment. And there's two capacity options for this. First is standard with a 7 cubic meter capacity. Then there's Unreal, which takes the capacity up to 82 cubic meters. So you'll be able to fit a lot of pallets in this with either configuration option. The only thing I will say about it is that there's no way to turn off auto load, because how it works is you open the back doors, then whatever pallets go near the back will be automatically loaded. So if you would like to load the pallets up yourself, then don't use this trailer. Next up is the TLX 2020 Bow IT, which costs $5,500, and this bow trailer also has the auto load feature with a capacity of 3 125cm round bows. And you do have to use the auto load on this as well, because there aren't any tension straps, so if you load the bows on here yourself, there isn't any way to hold them in place. Moving on, we have the TLX Snowplow, which costs $2,450 and has a 3 meter working width. Then next up we have trailer versions of the attachments that we just looked at. And the configuration options for these are the same as they are for the attachments that connect directly to the pickup. So I won't go through them again, I'll just quickly show you how much each one cost. So first is the TLX 2020 Tip IT trailer, which costs $4,500. Next is the TLX 2020 Lick IT trailer, and this costs $4,500. Then we have the TLX 2020 ABI tanker trailer that costs 5,100. Moving on to the TLX 2020 log IT trailer, which costs 4,500. Next is the TLX 2020 yard IT trailer that also costs 4,500. Then lastly we have the TLX 2020 box IT trailer, which costs 4,450. So that's all of the attachments for these pickups, and the configuration options and features for some of them are what make the TLX 2020 series such a useful vehicle to have on your farm. Moving on to the next mod, we have the Lizard TRA 500. And not only is this quad bike a fun vehicle to get around on, but you can also attach the precision farming tool to it, or use it to tow trailers and other things. There's also lots of configuration options that make this quad bike very customizable, and I'll show you them once I've gone through the price and everything else. So this costs £13,000, has 75 horsepower, weighs 986 kilograms, with a 50 litre diesel tank and a top speed of 74 miles per hour with a power shift transmission. For the configurations on this, we have quite a few different options. First is wheel brand, and we've got Lizard tyres with the wheel setups of Design 1, Design 2, Design 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then we have the bigger wheel options, Design 2, 2, Design 2, 3, Design 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2 and 6, 2. Next is Nokian tyres, and the wheel setups for these are Design 1, Design 2, Design 3, Design 4, 5 and 6. Then there's Nokian 2 with rim 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Nokian 3 with rim 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then we have the bigger wheel option for the Nokian 3s, rim 1, 2, rim 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2 and 6, 2. And lastly is Nokian 4 with rim 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then again we have the bigger wheels for the Nokian 4s, rim 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2 and 6, 2. And for the last wheel brand we have Mitas with the wheel setups being Design 1, Design 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then the bigger wheel options, Design 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2 and 6, 2. So there's plenty of different options to choose from for the wheel brands and setups. Moving on to the next option, we have 3 different design configurations. First is handlebars, and you can choose from handlebar 1, handlebar 2, 3 and 4. Next is bumper, and there's bumper 1, 2, 3 and 4. And the last design option is either standard or roof. Next up is camouflage, and we have standard, design 1, design 2, design 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Then we have attachers, and the options for these are standard, which is a normal tow hitch, design 1, which adds this hitch to the back, design 2 that adds the hitch to the side, then design 3 adds the back and side hitch on together. And if you want to use the precision farming tool on this quad bike, you need to add either one of the 3 design option hitches on. Moving on to engine setups, we have a few different options to change the speed of this quad bike. So there's the TRA 500 40 km an hour, the TRA 500 60 km an hour, 80 km an hour, 100 km an hour, and 120 km an hour. Then we have a second option for each engine, which changes the transmission from power shift to variable CVT. So there's the TRA 500 40 km an hour 2, 60 km an hour 2, 80 km an hour 2, 100 km an hour 2, and 120 km an hour 2. Then last of all for the configurations is the colour options, and we have main colour, Then we have 3 different design colour options. And the first one of these changes the colour of the suspension. Then the second design colour option will change the colour of the roof. And the third design colour will change the bumper colour. Then lastly is rim colour, which will change the colour of the rims. So that's all of the configuration options for the Lizard TRA 500, and as you've seen, there is a lot to choose from to make these quad bikes look exactly how you want to. Moving on, we have the Utility Vehicle Auto Load package, and what this mod does is add the auto load feature for production pallets to 2 of the base game utility vehicles. It also adds some configuration options to both of the vehicles that aren't available on the base game versions of them. So the first utility vehicle is the John Deere XUV Autoload Edition, which costs £15,000. And this has 83 horsepower, weighs 1.1 tonnes with a 42 litre diesel tank, and a top speed of 37 miles per hour with a variable CVT transmission and a 5,000 litre capacity. Moving on to the configurations for this. First we have vehicle configuration, and the options for these are standard, 3-point, auto load activated, and auto load plus 3-point. So if you want to be able to auto load your production pallets, make sure you select one of the auto load options. Then for the colour options, we have main colour, design colour, and rim colour. Moving on to the second vehicle, we have the Mahindra Retriever Autoload Edition, which costs £12,500, and this has 83 horsepower, weighs 957 kilograms, with a 42 litre diesel tank, and a top speed of 52 miles per hour with a variable CVT transmission and a 5,000 litre capacity. For the configurations, again we have vehicle configuration with the options of standard or auto load activated. Then for the colour options, we have main colour or design colour. So that's both of the utility vehicles that come with this mod, and these are perfect if you run smaller scale productions but would still like to auto load the pallets from them. Moving on to the next vehicle, we have the Service Pickup 2017, and this vehicle can be used as a standard pickup, or it can be equipped with different tanks in the back to hold various items such as fertiliser, milk, diesel and more. It can also be equipped to hold pallets of seed, lime or solid fertiliser. So there's plenty of different uses for this vehicle. And I'll quickly go through the price and everything else, then I'll show you the configuration options. So this costs £45,000, has 300 horsepower, weighs 2.4 tonnes with a 120 litre diesel tank, and a top speed of 74 miles per hour with a manual transmission and a capacity ranging between 8,000 to 9,500 litres. Moving on to the configurations for this. First we have configuration with the options of default, which is a standard pickup bed, gooseneck, which will allow you to attach things like the horse trailer, pallets that allow you to load up pallets of seeds, lime or fertiliser, and this has a 9,000 litre capacity, liquid tanks for liquid fertiliser or herbicide, and this has a 8,000 litre capacity, liquid tanks for water and milk, and this also has a 8,000 litre capacity. Then lastly is diesel, and this has a 9,500 litre capacity. Next is design with the options of standard, LED bar, beacons, and LED bar and beacons. For wheel setup, we have either standard or standard 2. Then for the colour options, we have main colour, design colour, and rim colour. So that's everything for the Service Pickup 2017. And this is a very useful vehicle if you don't want to have different trailers and tankers to transport things. Moving on to the last vehicle, we have the Lizard Santana 88 pickup. And this vehicle can be used to tow things or transport bales, pallets and various other items in the back. It also has a special suspension system that keeps all 4 wheels on the ground at all times, making this vehicle very good over all terrains. And this costs £50,000, has 64 horsepower, weighs 1.6 tonnes with a 90 litre diesel tank, and a top speed of 46 miles per hour with a manual transmission. For the configurations on this, we have Continental wheel brand with the wheel setups of off-road, street or street 2. Then we have Trailborg wheel brand with the setups of mud or mud 2. Next is design with the options of standard, spare front wheel, spare wheel back, gas can, and spare wheel plus gas can. Then we have lights, and the options for these are standard, beacon, bull bar, and beacon plus bull bar. Onto attachers, we have standard or plus front trailer hitch. And for capacity, we have bow trailer, hardtop canopy, or cargo rack. Then last of all is colour options, and we have main colour, roof colour, design colour, and rim colour. So that's everything for the Lizard Santana 88, and this vehicle is a very good choice on maps with rough terrain, due to the suspension system that keeps all 4 wheels on the ground. And that brings us to the end of my top 5 car mods. So that's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know by leaving a like, and feel free to subscribe so you never miss another video.